I own 70 Nintendo Switch games, and today I'm going to guess the Metacritic score of all of them, and I have to guess at least 53 of them correct, or else my roommates are going to be able to craft a community post for me that I have to post publicly to all of you guys, and yes, they can type whatever they want. The rules are plain and simple. I have to guess within a 10-point radius of the exact Metacritic score. First up is Mario Kart Deluxe, and it is the most played game on my Nintendo Switch for obvious reasons, no questions there, and I believe this has a pretty high Metacritic score. I'm going to guess 88 for Mario Kart Deluxe. So Mario Kart Deluxe has a 92, so I did get the point. I was 4 points off. However, I think it is worth noting that Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U actually does have an 88, so if I were guessing for that game in particular, I would have got the game 100% correct, right on the money, but I will still take the points regardless. Next up is Fitness Boxing, the original. I would give this a 76. Just barely, but I got it right. It got a 66. I got that one correct, just barely. Right within the 10-point radius. Let's move on. Fitness Boxing 2, Rhythm and Exercise. That's right. I have both fitness boxing games in my top 3 most played Switch games of all time. I'm going to give it a 75 this time. Maybe be a little bit more lenient. Let's see how this one is. Looks like Fitness Boxing 2 has a 66 as well. Didn't move up or down, just stayed the exact same. Next up is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. 80 plus characters in the entire game. This one's a fun one to play. I'm going to give it a 90. But they got a 93 on Metacritic, which is very, very good. The highest one we've seen so far, I guess 90, so I am so far perfect. Let's go. Ring Fit Adventure for the Nintendo Switch. I actually do like this one quite a lot. I like the ring con and the leg strap. This was a fun one in my opinion, but I can understand why not everybody would be a fan of this one. However, I do think it's pretty highly rated. I'm going to give it a 80, right on the dot, an 80. Look at that. I'm just blindly guessing, and Metacritic actually gave it a good score, 83. That is well within the radius, so I got another point there. Things are looking great for me. And let's go Super Mario Odyssey. Really, really well made game. I'm going to give this one a 92. On Metacritic. And I knew I would be right. Look at that, 5 points off, 97, the highest rated game we've seen so far. It is a beautiful Mario game. If you haven't played it, you guys really, really should. And let's go, another point for me. Tetris 99. This is an online multiplayer game where you play with 98 other players across the world. If I were to rate this one on Metacritic, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 75 and see if it is somewhere in that range. And would you look at that, Tetris? Not so shabby. An 83, I guess 75, so still within the radius. That is a point for me. Fall Guys, it started in 2020 and it is on Nintendo Switch among other platforms, so I've been playing it a lot, especially with my cousin. It's a lot of fun in my opinion. I'm going to guess that this one gets a 73. It is an 81, so that is within that range. As long as I didn't guess 70, that would have been tragic, but I guess 73. This is Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 Plus. This one you can play with 2 players in Pac-Man. Specifically, it's a fun version of Pac-Man. I'm going to give this one an 80. Ooh, an 80 on the dot. I was going to say 85, but I'm going to go safe and play 80 on the dot. Whoa! And would you look at that, on the money, 80, right on the dot. I was going to say 85, but I moved down to 80, and it is an 80. Perfect. Tetris Effect connected. I've started to get more into this game, and I am really enjoying myself with this one. If you guys want to see me play it on stream, or if you guys haven't played it, you really should. Now, what am I going to guess this game? I actually am going to guess this one in 85 because I think it deserves something of that caliber. It might not be a 90, but I think it's going to be somewhere in that lower 80s range. And I did not give it the credit it deserves. Look at that. It's a 94 on Metacritic. I gave it an 85. Still within the radius. That's a 9-point difference. Still got the point, and we are still perfect. What do I think Metacritic would rate Mario Maker 2? It's one where you make your own levels as opposed to playing them. Although they have a story mode, there's still some pros and cons between it and the first Mario Maker. I'm going to go with 82 because it's a Mario game. It might push up a little bit. Mario Maker 2 got an 88 on Metacritic. We are still perfect, still within that radius. Next up, Mario Party Superstars, a callback to the Nintendo 64 Mario Parties. What am I going to rate this on Metacritic? What would Metacritic rate this? I'm having a lot of trouble thinking about this one, but I'm going to give it, I'm going 84. I don't think it's that highly rated, so I want to give myself a little bit of that buffer. I still think it's in that 80s range. All right, and I will take it. I guess going lower actually worked out for me because it has actually got an 80 on Metacritic. Not too shabby. Next up, Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. Actually don't know if this has a Metacritic score. This contains Mega Man 7, 8, 9, and 10 from the classic Mega Man series. All 4 games collected together, plus a little bit of extra content makes for a fun experience. What am I going to give this one? I think I'm going to give this one a 79. Look at that, Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 with a 77. I was 2 off, man. I feel like I know my video games right now. We are staying perfect. 1-2 switch. Oh, I don't know how this one's going to go. I don't know how low Metacritic goes with their scores. I don't think this one's going to go greatly. I think I'm going to give this one a 60, just 60 flat on the dot. Again, almost on the money, 2 off a 58. I really thought that it was going to be either a lot lower or shockingly higher, but no, a 58. Super Mario Party is up next, and man, oh man, I do not know. This one is going to be interesting. I think I'm going to give this one an 81. So far, so good. A 76 on Metacritic. Super Mario Party, only 5 off, well within that radius. One of my favorite games of all time. I'm not even joking. Ori and the Will of the Wisp, one of the most beautiful experiences I have ever had. I would be shocked if it got anything below than an 88. It was 5 points higher. It got a 93, and it is a must play from Metacritic. They know what they are talking about. Let's go. Next up is the original Mega Man Legacy Collection. This takes Mega Man's 1 through 6 museum, music, stuff, extra stuff bundled in, and maybe a little bit more refined graphics / controls. 80 on the dot. I think I'm gonna give this one 80 on the dot. Well within the radius, only 3 points off this time. It got an 83 on Metacritic. That is what I love to hear. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. It's still a fun game, has a ton of content, ton of mini games, ton of stages from all like 3 or 4 of the original Monkey Ball games, so that is insane. With that being said, I think I'm gonna give this one a 76 and see if it is somewhere within that range. Guys, I literally cannot believe my eyes right now. It is a 76. That's exactly what I guessed. Another one on the money. Cuphead is a fun game. It's a very, very tough game. I would guess maybe somewhere in like the low to mid 80s, but it could very well be getting to 90s. 86 is what I'm going to give this one. I think this one deserves at least an 86. I am guessing for the Nintendo Switch version, I was just 1 point off. Of course, that is still a perfect point for your boy. Ori and the Blind Forest is next, in another one of my favorite games. This is just one of my favorite series in general. To be safe, in 87, I am guessing for Ori and the Blind Forest. And that is what I like to see, a 90 on the dot. I should have guessed 90 for Ori and the Blind Forest, but it is pretty darn solid. Good stuff. Mario Golf Super Rush on the Nintendo Switch is next. If I were to guess Mario Golf on Metacritic, I would give this one maybe 78. Wow, it's low. It is a 70. I kind of understand, but I wasn't expecting them to tank it this hard. Next up is Yoshi's Crafted World for the Nintendo Switch. This is one I have not played since like what, 2018 or 2019? Like holy cow, when this game came out, it was about almost 4 years ago. I feel like at this point, maybe at least 80 on the dot. Let's see how this one goes. Just 1 point off from perfectly on the dot, a 79. This has actually gotten a 7.9 user score. Good stuff. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, 84. No, 83. I'm going 83. Oh, and this is the first one we got wrong. It's Mario and Sonic, but it gets a 69. Wow, I didn't expect that at all. Next up is Pac-Man 99. Now, this is much different from Tetris 99. Not much. Pac-Man 99 from Metacritic. I'm going to guess a 78. I don't see it going any higher than that, but I don't think it's going to go that low. So 78. I was pretty darn close to being on the money. We got a 76 rating from Pac-Man 99. People tend to love it, and the critics tend to like it as well. Next up, Mario Tennis Aces. I think it got a little bit better. I'm going to guess a 73. Mario Tennis got a 75. See, I decided to play it down a little bit, but I almost got it right. Only 2 points off. Super Bomberman R on the Nintendo Switch, and this one is actually the very first Switch game I ever bought. I'm going to give it a 77. I don't think it was that bad. I don't think it was top tier. Oh my lord. Bomberman, it got a 62? I didn't think it did that poorly. Holy Toledo. This is Mega Man 11. What am I going to give this one? I personally really enjoyed the game. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought the music was phenomenal, and I honestly did like the art direction. I'm going to go 74. Mega Man 11 did a bit better than I thought. It got an 80 on the dot. I'm very happy with this. Let's get some more right. This is Rocket League. Obviously not just a Nintendo Switch game. You can play this on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, pretty much any single console you can play Rocket League on. Fun gameplay. I don't know how the critics will rate it, so I'm going 75 right in the middle. Oh no, and I was 1 off from being within the dot. It got an 86 on the Nintendo Switch. Are you serious? Mario Strikers Battle League on the Nintendo Switch, the 3rd edition in the Mario Striker series. So I'm thinking right on the nose. It's got to be 70. No shot it goes into 80. Yeah, honestly, 3 points higher, so it's a 73. So I get the point, but I'm actually kind of shocked that it did that well. It did better than Mario Golf. Next up is probably the most random game that I have on my Switch catalog. I technically don't have it anymore, but I can always re-download it whenever I can. WWE 2K18. Whoa! I didn't even know Metacritic scores can go that low. Celeste, a Game of the Year 2018 nominee. That's how good this game was. If I have to give you a rating, I'm going 85. No shot it is anywhere below that. It might actually be higher than 95, but I'm going 85 for Celeste. Would you look at that? 92 for Celeste. So 7 points within that barrier. You got to love it. So we are doing pretty well. Unbound Worlds Apart, I started playing this game and I got into it, but then there was one part in the game that I got extremely stuck at, so I stopped playing the game, and it is unfortunate because it was a beautiful game. It had a nice soundtrack, but regardless, I'm gonna give it a 76. I'm gonna give it a 76. I think it got decent reviews, but I don't think it went anything crazy. And what a prediction that was. I guess 76, and it is a 78 on Metacritic. Only 2 off. We got that point correct. That was a huge point. The most tragic game on this list, Mario Bros 35. Yes, I still have it on my Switch list. I know I can't access the game anymore. Mario Bros 35 would have gotten a 80 on the dot, and I gotta love the prediction because we got it correct. 75, we are in the radius. You got to love that. So we get the point for Mario Bros 35. How is Fortnite gonna do? It's a big game, ever so expansive. We're on like season 2, chapter 4. Before I find out, I gotta make a prediction, and I think Fortnite got a 78, and we are 5 points off yet again, which is still inside the radius, so we get the point for Fortnite. Look at that, you got an 83. So again, probably what I expected, but I didn't want to go too high with the predictions. Next up is an interesting co-op game called Unravel 2. It was a really fun like puzzle platformer, and those are the types of games I almost enjoy most. I'm giving this one an 81. Unravel 2 on the Switch got an 82 on Metacritic. Wow, just 1 point off. Overwatch is up next, and this is a game my brother and my friends play all the time. I can't really get into it just because I am absolute garbage when it comes to shooting games. It did win Game of the Year in 2016, so I have to imagine it was very solid and strong. Overwatch, when it first came out, was Overwatch on the Switch, so 86. Oh man, and I get it wrong. I would have gotten it right if I guessed it on any other platform, but I had to switch it to specifically the Switch. And it is a 73 on the Switch because I guess people didn't really like the 1080p 30 frames per second, and you need 60 frames for a first-person shooter. Understandable, but I guess 86. I was outside the radius, so I get it wrong. Next up is ARMS. This one came out, I think, the day that the Switch came out, or very close to the day that the Switch came out. How did it do? 74 is what I'm going for. I will take that. I was pretty darn close with my prediction, pretty accurate. So only 3 points off. This game got a 77 on Metacritic, which is pretty darn solid. I guessed 74. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. I'm really curious to see what the Metacritic score on this one is. This one is an RC car game, so honestly, I am not sure. I'm going to guess maybe like a 76. Woo! Look at that. We were 1 off again. 75 is what they scored. And I got a 76 is my prediction. Breath of the Wild. I don't even need to talk about this one for much because it is one of the greatest games of all time. According to many, I'm giving it a 95, and I am confident. I could have gone even higher. It got a 97 on Metacritic. One of the best games with the highest scores on this website. Next up is Namco Museum, just a weird compilation game for the Nintendo Switch that collects a bunch of the arcade games like Pac-Man, Galaga. I'm going to rate this one just a flat out 70. I don't think it's anything special, but I don't think it's anything great. I got extremely lucky with that one. I did not expect it to get a 72, but now looking at it, it makes a lot of sense to me. Theater of the Final Bar line. I paid the premium digital deluxe edition so I can get all of the DLC, all 500 plus songs or whatever there is. 87 is what I'm giving it because that's honestly what I would give it at the least. Ladies and gentlemen, on the freaking dot, 87. I cannot believe I got this one. Xenon Racer, a game I haven't thought about in literal years. It came out in 2017. One of the first games I actually bought digitally, I believe, from the Nintendo eShop. I am going to give this one a 79. So Xenon Racer actually does not have a rating on Nintendo Switch, which is kind of weird, but they did rate it on PlayStation 4 and gave it a 64. So I will use that as the score, and I got it wrong because I guess a 79. I gave it too generous of a score. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze with the new funky mode on the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to give this one maybe like an 88. I'm pretty confident that I did pretty well. 86 it got, and I guessed 88, only 2 points off. Team Sonic Racing is next. This is a 3-person Sonic racing game. Kind of reminds me of like the Sonic Heroes of Sonic racing games. I'm going to guess maybe a 74. I don't think it was that memorable, and that ended up being the right way to go about it. I guess 74, and it is a 71 on Metacritic, so only 3 points off, but well within that radius, so I will take the point. This is Knockout Home Fitness, trying to find a new boxing game, something to get me back into the swing of things. Didn't really like it too much, but who knows, I might get back into it from time to time. I'm gonna give it a flat 70. I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now. A 71. I was 1 point off of getting that score on the dot. Sonic Mania, a very well-renowned Sonic game, one that we have not seen since the original Sonic games that people have enjoyed. Beautiful game. 89. That's how confident I am that it got a high score. Couldn't expect anything less. 86 is what Sonic Mania got, and I guessed 89, so that is well within that radius. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, that arcade hack and slash type of game. You got to love it. I'm gonna give this one actually an 86. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. I guessed 86 and I was one off again. 87 for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. You know what I said. Great game. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel. This is a Mario Kart style game, but in Crash universe. I'm gonna guess this one an 85. Okay, honestly not as good as I thought, but I will take it because I still get the point anyway. It got an 80 on Metacritic. Next up is Mortal Kombat 11. How fitting that I am rating this game, because the day I am recording this is actually when Mortal Kombat 1 gets announced. I don't think it did the greatest on the Switch specifically. The graphics were a little bit buggy as opposed to the other consoles, so 72 for Mortal Kombat 11. Okay, so I kind of got screwed in this one because they didn't actually have a rating on the Switch version of Mortal Kombat 11, so I had to go to the next best thing, which was the PlayStation 4, and of course, it skyrockets itself to a 90 overall rating, which is completely understandable for that console, but I feel like it would have gotten a lot worse if it was on the Switch and they actually rated it on the Switch. Super Mario 3D All-Stars consists of Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. 3 really well received games, but all in a package that feels a little bit too underwhelming, so I'm going to give this flat out an 80. What a prediction, just 2 off Mario 3D All-Stars. You love to see it. Castlevania Anniversary Collection, which I think consists of like the first 8 Castlevania games in the franchise. I am not the greatest at Castlevania 1 or just any Castlevania game in general, it seems, but I like to give them a fair shot. How I think this collection did on Metacritic though, I'm going to give it a 78. Castlevania Anniversary Collection gets an 81 on Metacritic, so I was only 3 off. We are slaying Dracula with these scores. Next up, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. This consists of Crash 1, 2, and 3 remade and remastered for the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to think 84. I think it was a pretty well-received collection. Okay, didn't do as well as I thought. It got a 78, but I guessed 84, so 6 difference, which is still within that radius to get myself the point. Super Bomberman R Online. I don't think this online game is going to do any better, so I'm going to guess 70. Good thing I guessed 70 on the dot because I was 9 off, barely on the edge of that radius, which allows me to get the point, so I still get the point, but man, this is Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun. The only reason I got this game is actually because of its mascot, Don-chan, who's playable in a Mario Kart Arcade GP/DX. I'm not sure what the Metacritic score is, that's what I'm here to guess. I think it is going to get a 80, 81. Ooh, I should have guessed below an 80. I considered guessing 79, but either way, I wouldn't have gotten exactly on the dot, but it got a 78, only 3 points off. Super Kirby Clash is up next, and I honestly don't even remember what this game is. I think I'm going to give this one a 68. Okay, did a little bit higher than I thought, got a 74 on Metacritic, so I am not complaining there, probably deserved it. I honestly don't remember what the game was. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I really enjoyed Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and I think it's going to be similarly reviewed on the Switch as well, so I'm going to guess 83. So close to being on the dot. We were 1 off. I guessed 83 and the game was 82. This game has an interesting story to it. Pokemon Shield. I got this game when I was in college. It was going to be the first Pokemon game that I've ever played, and then I played like half a second of the game. I'm not even joking. Picked my Pokemon, Score Bunny, did like 1 basic tutorial battle and called it a day. Gave the game to one of my friends, didn't even ask for it back. But no, I have not played any Pokemon games. That one doesn't even count. I'm actually gonna guess 71. I don't think it did fantastic, so 71 is my guess for Pokemon Shield. I guess Pokemon scores are fine for critics. It got an 80 on Metacritic, but wow, that user score is a 4.7. Luigi's Mansion 3 is next, and I bought this day 1 when this game came out, but I have yet to even play the game once. Luigi's Mansion 3 must must have done phenomenally well on the Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna give it an 87, and I really think it did that well. Another game, oh my lord, where I was just one off. Man, I'm just barely getting unlucky. I was one off again. Next up is the Mega Man X Legacy Collection. So the Mega Man X games, the ones that I have not played, I've heard great things about the first like 2. How do I think the bundle was rated on Metacritic? I think that it got a 76. So 80% for Mega Man X Legacy Collection. I mean, I guessed within the parameter, so I do get the point for the game. Apex Legends, if I get this one correct or within the radius of 10 points, I will have completed the challenge, and I will not have my roommates submit me a community post. By the way, in my opinion, I think it's going to get an 80 on the dot. Oh my goodness, the challenge continues. I haven't beaten it yet because I got this one wrong. Very, very wrong. Apex Legends on the Switch did absolutely horribly. 54. Next up is the Mega Man 0/ZX Legacy Collection. This one is a game I have not touched since buying it. 4 Mega Man 0 games and the 2 Mega Man ZX games. 76 I think this one got. Let's see if I'm in that parameter. And that is it. We beat the challenge with this one. We got an 83 score, and we are only 7 off with a 76 as our guess. Next up is Kirby's Dream Buffet, where you have to beat just giant Kirby's by eating as much food as possible, but trying to race each other to the end. It's almost like a Sonic R, but with Kirby, you're just rolling around. Kirby's Dream Buffet is getting an 83. That is my prediction. This game did a lot worse than I thought. I thought people were raving about the game when it first came out. What? Did I miss something that people just all of a sudden turned on it? Arise, a simple story definitive edition. This is one that not many people have heard of. I'm excited to play this one. I'm going to give this one an 82. Again, another game where I was just 1 point off of the perfect score of getting it on the dot. It is an 81, and I guessed 82. Next up is Resident Evil 5. Now you're asking why I downloaded this one. Is because of the online multiplayer capabilities. I was wanting to play it with one of my roommates from college. I'm gonna guess, and it especially came out on the Switch, so 76 is what I'm going for. Good thing I guess 76 for Resident Evil 5, because on the Switch version in particular, it got a lower score than the other ones, of course. Down to the last 5 games. This one is called Faye, another game that I just bought because it looked very, very interesting, and I want to play this one day, but I haven't gotten the chance to. So I think this one is going to do really well. So my guess is 84. Oh no, and this one actually did a lot worse than I thought. I got a 72 on Metacritic. Wow, I guess people didn't like it as much as I thought. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. How do I think this game is going to do? An 82 is what I'm thinking for Crash, because I think it did decently well, especially on the Switch. And would you look at that, just a couple points off, only 2 points off. I guess 82 in this game got a perfect 80. I am seriously looking forward to playing is Hollow Knight on the Nintendo Switch. I bought this game a couple of years ago, and I still have not played this one. This one seems like an incredibly difficult game. How did it do on Metacritic? 86. That is my guess. Hollow Knight did even better than I thought. I got a 90. Good stuff, Hollow Knight. I am excited to play this game. This one seems very, very interesting, and it got the Metacritic must play. So, I mean, I guess that means I just must play it. You know, we couldn't have a Metacritic guessing game if we didn't have Among Us, especially the one for Nintendo Switch. I had to pay $5 for this one and have not touched this game. So I'm gonna go with an 81. An 81 is what I'm thinking. Good stuff on me. I got the point for Among Us. We got one more game to guess. And that last game is Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. It consists of the 3 Shovel Knight games, at least being able to play with the 3 Shovel Knight characters. I think with like a bonus side game as well. My guess is an 85. But it's a 91, and I get the point because I was only 6 off, so I get the point. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. Here is my final score. Let me know how you guys did in the comments below. I want to know your guys' score. Did you guys predict the Metacritic scores correctly? Were you within the 10-point radius on most of the games? I do not have to let my roommates create a community post for me because I did phenomenally well. I think I only got like 7 or 8 wrong. If you guys are regulars on my live streams or want to come to my live streams and recommend a game that you want to see me play that you think would be fun for me to play, let me know. I'm down to play any of these games, and even some games that I have not bought yet or purchased. I just want to give a big shout out to all of my members. Thank you guys so much for helping support the content. Honestly, a lot of this wouldn't be possible without you guys. And of course, everybody that is subscribed to the channel. You can subscribe or become a member if you so choose to using the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you are new. Stay all pro. And I'm out of here.